welcome to our webinar today. Debbie D. Grote here. I have a very special guest, David Glanzrock. And in the past, I would say pre-COVID, if you attended some of our forward coaching events, you may have met David there. David, I will actually let him introduce himself, but I will say he is a super powerful affiliate in the title space. And I know, David, across the country, it's not the same, of course, as it is in California, in terms of title. So we're not going to talk about title today. That's not our topic. What David, though, is going to share, I asked him to talk about how to leverage the power of your affiliates, your close vendors and service providers to really make them an integral part of your team. What would be expectations and what can you do, to be a better and more valuable partner? Because of course, one of the things that, David, I found in my sales career is I leaned on these affiliates to have my back and to also sell me and promote me to my own clients, right? And to step in and be problem solvers, not problem creators. So we want to talk a little bit about that today, right?
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Of course. And so before we do let you do the big introduction, if you guys wouldn't mind, just go ahead and type in the chat box a quick hello so we can know that you hear us loud and clear. And then as David, perfect. Thank you, Janelle, said hello. So Jennifer, awesome. Tom, perfect. As we go through our session today, if there's something you would like to ask David, please feel free to type it in the chat box or the Q&A, and I will monitor that. And we did not do slides because, David, we really wanted to make this much more organic. And the reason I thought this was a great topic is they're trying to plan their year, of course, and their help and support. So why don't you go ahead, David, and give them a little bit of your background, and then we'll just launch right in.
Awesome. Well, thank you for having me. Happy holidays, everybody. Wherever you are in the world, I hope you are doing amazing. My name is David Glanzrock. I'm a vice president of sales at Fidelity National Title. This month will actually be the start of my 21st year in real estate, if you can believe it or not. I started at 19 years old as a broker's assistant for an amazing realtor and broker in the Phoenix metropolitan area when I was attending college. Did everything that I possibly could do on the residential real estate side of things, all the way through the Great Recession and the crazy stuff that happened there. And then when I moved to California, it was an opportunity, do I get my real estate license or try something else within the real estate space? And I had a few friends, say you should look at title because you have this experience in the industry. So this will be the start of my 10th year in title. And I love it. It's really a fantastic sales opportunity to continue to work in the real estate space, more business to business. Debbie and I have been speaking about this specific topic in a lot of, I know everybody has different rules and stuff like that. California has some of the strictest rules, if not the strictest rules in the United States for what a title person can do. And I'll just tell you what they are because it's how I learned really how to do this business. And that is the only thing a title rep can do in California is provide actual tangible business building value. We have a law called SB 133, and SB 133 prevents a title rep from purchasing lunch, coffee. If I were to give something to one of you, it would have to cost less than $10. It could not be edible, and it has to have a Fidelity logo on it.
So no donuts. And David, I think, if title doesn't work the same in their state, I do think the way this also applies is on the mortgage side. They're very restricted as well. And of course, as you all may know, they can only participate in marketing and only if it meets all the guidelines for equal co-branding. So, all of that to say, back in the day, I'll admit it, title lenders, they would throw escrows, whatever affiliates out there, home protection, they would throw a lot of money, a lot of gifts at top agents. which were fun and were nice. And then all these laws were passed. I feel like now, though, the bigger value really can be if you have these strong affiliates. So, again, keeping in mind that they don't all have the same kind of title experience you and I do, what would be some tips you would have for them to select the right affiliate, the right vendors, and maybe expectations that they should have of them?
I think that's a great question, and you're right. If you live in a state where title and escrow and lenders can buy you lunch and take you to the Lakers game or the Cowboys game in Dallas, whatever it might be, more power to you.
I don't think they have that. I don't think so.
But everybody should be adding value to your business. Title's title. We're the largest title insurance company in the world. I tell people if we can't do it, it can't be done. But the value that I bring to the people that I work with has nothing to do with the actual title insurance policy that I get paid for. Mm-hmm. It's tools and tips and business building opportunities, whether it's a piece of software that maybe Fidelity has to offer, whether it's somebody looking to expand into the digital marketing space. It's basically working with those people, processes, and product that realtors have. I view myself as a concierge and a type of a coach. If somebody says, hey, I need help doing this, I want to plan a community event for my sphere of influence, I'm there to help them do that. Your affiliates, you should view them as a resource. Obviously, we need them to get the clear to close for your loan. We need escrow to close the deal. We need title to do that. But that right there is the minimum function of what somebody should be doing. What really somebody should be doing is, my business and the value that your affiliates can bring is yes, it's during the transaction, but it's in between those transactions to help get you more and to build your business where you can get real value from your affiliates. I tell people I'm going to save them time, I'm going to save them money, and I'm going to help them do more transactions. But I actually do it as well.
Right.
It's not just a saying.
Yeah. And I think a few things I would throw in to suggest, by the way, yes, this will be recorded. Yes, you guys will be sent a copy. So I see a couple of questions about that. So here's a couple of thoughts, David, from a top real estate agent perspective. I would have many people coming to me saying they wanted my business, whatever type of affiliate they were. Of course, they wanted my business. I only ever had a very few, though, that would sit down with me and look for opportunities to provide real value. So what I would share with all of you is take a look at those vendors and affiliates that you work with and ask yourself, do I feel, beyond just doing the job they're supposed to do, to David's point, do I feel that they're bringing real value to the table for me? So are they sitting down with me and sharing, resources, new programs? And, David, you are really good at your making videos and social media and some of those things you do. So that literally could be, if they have great marketing niches, that they explain to you how they're doing that so that you can maybe then apply that to your business, right? And I know I've seen David
Absolutely.
sit down with my own daughters and very strategically help them choose a geographic farm territory, looking at turnover. I've seen you do classes talking about how you make your videos and manage your social media. So it may be resources the company has that they have not made you aware of, and they should, or just things they're doing in their own personal business that are really dynamic marketing strategies, right?
Absolutely. I mean, one of the things, Debbie's been my coach for many years. And, you introduced a book to me. I don't even know if you remember. It's called Question Your Way to Sales Success.
Uh-huh.
And although it's not a
David
book club,
Kale, I think, is the author. Uh-huh.
It completely changed the way I do business. It's not about me and what I can offer. And as far as interviewing affiliates or talking to your affiliates, are your affiliates asking you questions about your business so that they can learn where and how they can help you? It's up to them to determine, okay, I have this, this, and this because I ask these questions and I know about your business. Like there's the 10,000 foot level, the clouds to get started, but then your affiliates really need to get down in the dirt with you and learn what you're doing and learn what your goals are for 2022, and then provide you with the tools to help you achieve those goals. I mean, that's probably the high level thing that I think affiliates should be doing, you know, and a lot of times what I find is, you know, oh yeah, so-and-so set me up on Fidelity Agent. Okay, great. Like, you know about it, but did they provide you the use cases to when you would actually use this product? Did they give you the if and when? Did they tell you how to use this thing for the best practices? We all have our own little farming tools now. Great. Okay, if you're looking for a farm, are your affiliate partners actually discussing with you why you're farming that area, what your strategy is, what your plan is? You know, are they providing best practices of the resources that they're setting you up with, or are they just sending you a username and password and saying, figure it out yourself? That's the difference. That's getting in the dirt is where the affiliates should excel and provide real value as a true partner in your business.
And I often advise clients, and I would suggest all of you, this is a great time in the next couple of weeks to get a hold of that affiliate or any affiliates that you're thinking you might be using in the new year, and promote this meeting. Say, you know, we need to sit down and I need to tell you about my business, and you need to tell me what you can do that's legal and reasonable to ask, right? That you can do that would take something off of my plate, make my job a bit easier, or bring a new resource or strategy to the table. So set up the meeting, right? They may not set up the meeting, you set up the meeting. You know, I'll give you an example, David. I had a great lender I used for many, many years. And what he would do for me is every Monday morning, he would call me. It would be a 15-minute conversation. And he would say, okay, Debbie, when you're speaking to your buyers and sellers this week, here's what you need to say about the interest rate market. Here's what's happening. Here's a new product that you might want to talk about. And here's how you talk about it. By the way, did you have any leads from open house on the weekend that you don't have time to call? I will call them for you. Now that's a proactive partner, right, guys? So I think looking at, okay, what are the great resources they have that you have, they've maybe told you about them, but you've not made the time to take advantage. Having that proactive conversation. What do they know that you need to know? And David, I'm going to throw a third one out there on the table. You have a very dynamic, outgoing personality. You're proactive, you're high D, you'll get in the trenches with a client, not just your agent client, but their consumer client, and help solve a problem. I feel like that's a must in an affiliate.
Or explain an issue.
Explain an issue, because see, what I often see, and maybe all of you watching have had this experience too, is that they might be technically smart in their field, and yet they cannot interact with your buyer or seller at a high level. So in other words, they're not a salesperson. And I've had some awesome affiliates that we would have a problem and I would say, can you fix this? you know, and they would get on with the client and talk them through it and sort it all out. And I did not have to do that heavy lifting. If they have zero personality or they have zero interest in doing that for you, they may not be the right affiliate.
Well, I think a lot of it is education. You know, like a big part of what I try to do is I think I have some funny, silly marketing stuff. I think it's pretty unique, you know, but the real thing that, and the real value that I try to bring day to day, you know, in Southern California, especially Orange County, you know, my average client does 4 transactions a year. That means I'm only talking to them once a quarter. I need to somehow fill in the gaps 8 times a year of bringing value. And bringing value, in my opinion, isn't bringing a piece of, literally a piece of plastic garbage, setting it on somebody's desk that they could throw away. Bringing value to me, a lot of it has to do with education and how can we help people on the front end of the transactions. Like, are they knowledgeable in what they're doing? Or every time you ask a question, do they have to hang up and call somebody else to get the answer? Do they pass you off to the inside team? Or are they really there to find the answer and do the work for you. A big thing that's happened in Southern California, just to give you an example, our state legislature passed 3 legislative acts that are sweeping changes to the way single family residential real estate will be treated starting very soon. And so, my job for 60 days was getting that information out to people. And a lot of it is, information that they can then use for their own marketing, their own video from a title perspective, but it's a way to provide value to them in questions that are going to be asked. Like, we need to, your affiliates, if they know you well enough and you know what they can bring to the table, they should be reaching out to you with value and sorting through this white noise machine that exists in our space and filtering the information that's relevant to you and your market center.
And so, David, another thought I had is, how can their affiliates further promote them to their own client base? So when I was thinking about this webinar this morning, I thought, if they would coach their affiliates that when you're talking to my buyer or my seller, then I want you to get in there somehow that, wow, Erica is an unbelievable agent, or you are so lucky that you are working with Tom. Tom is one of the best in the industry, and he is going to take great care of you. I love working with Tom. You're going to love Tom. Like, they should be reselling you very obviously subtly, within reason, but to your own customers. And I think that, let's train our affiliates to even say very simply, by the way, I know Tom loves and appreciates referrals. Of course I do as well. Is there anyone you can think of that might need our help today? Because maybe Tom forgets to ask, right? And boy, a way for an affiliate to really ingratiate themselves is if they're making you a hero to your clients and they're helping, extract referrals from that client that you sent them for you.
Well, and remember, to your point, Debbie, it's a different perspective. When you go on Zillow or you go on Yelp or some of these things, the reviews that people see or the testimonials that you have are what I would call like the end user, the homeowner, mm-hmm. right? That's one side of the transaction. Then there's all the things that happen during the transaction. And it really matters who you're working with. It matters who your escrow officer is. It matters who your lender is.
Or your attorney, and some parts of the country,
if it's an attorney state,
mm-hmm.
your closing agent, all those things, they matter. And your affiliates have a different relationship and see a different thing. So part of what you can attest to is the way they handle the things that can't be seen. Mm-hmm. And that in and of itself can provide confidence and edify you as the realtor.
Mm-hmm. And there's one other thing I hear a lot. My vendor partner, my affiliate, they don't give me referrals. Okay, so we're talking about organic referrals, nothing to do with asking their own clients and feeding them back to them, but organic referrals. Actually, in the forward coaching scripting, and what I'll make a note of is I'll make sure when we send you the recording, we pull this script and send it to you. It's a script for asking your vendors and affiliates for referrals. David, you and I have not talked about this or rehearsed this. I would like to throw this out there, and I want you to tell me to think it or give me your feedback. Is it a reasonable thing to ask as an affiliate? So let me tell you the script first, and then I want your comment. Okay. So let's say that I have my meeting with David and we're planning for the year ahead. And I say, David, you've always done a great job for me. I really appreciate it. And I feel I've been very loyal in directing as much business your way as I possibly can. But, I was thinking about this the other day, and you haven't really given me any referrals in return. And then I allow a little pause and I say, however, David, I think that's my fault because I don't think I had a discussion with you or let you know how important it would be. David, I get it. You work with lots of real estate agents, so I understand that you have to be fair. It has to be reasonable. And you're not out there prospecting for buyers and sellers, so you may not have that many. Could I ask one favor of you in the new year, though? Would you try to find one thing a month for me Maybe it's an introduction to a new quality vendor. Maybe it's an invitation to participate in an event that you think might allow me to meet my ideal client. Maybe once in a while it's a friend or family member that you think I'd be right to work with. I'm not asking for every referral. I'm just asking for a proactive approach in return to helping me find some opportunity. So David, because I get it, they're not in the business of hunting buyers and sellers for us. And they do work with lots of agents, but would that be reasonable to ask them to be a bit more proactive in connecting or inspiring or putting some opportunity in front of me?
Well, I mean, I think that's the whole crux of the conversation that we're having, is to have proactive vendors that provide opportunity to build your business. I told you my story. Like, I moved out here. The only people that I've really met since I moved here are in real estate.
Right.
And I don't have I personally, I can speak to this because it's definitely a drawback. I'm not going to pretend that it's not, but like, I don't know a lot of people in Southern California,
Mhm.
and the people that I do know are already in the industry. So I don't really have the opportunity to say, use this lender, try out this realtor.
Mhm.
And so that's another reason why having that value add approach is so important, is I'm going to help you get more deals in other ways
Mhm.
and be proactive. What I really like about the script is that you're giving somebody an opportunity you're explaining to somebody how they can provide value and how they can help you with referrals, even if they don't have a buyer to hand to you, even if they don't have a listing appointment for you to go on. You're being very clear and concise with what they can do to support your business. And I think if your affiliates aren't providing you with educational opportunities, seminar opportunities, even pre-recorded videos, or talking to you about the resources that they have, then you should be asking, and I would go as far as saying, if they're still not doing it after you're clear, if you really are serious about growing your business, it might be time to find a new vendor.
I agree. And in fact, in our scripting, guys, you'll see that I say, well, I'll check in with you next month and let's see how we're doing. So then in a month, I would say, hey, Fred, my lender, gosh, a whole 30 days went by and I don't really feel that there was something quantifiable that was a value add to grow my business, whether it was a connection or a resource. And I think I gave you 3 loans this month, Fred. So dude, come on. We talked about this a month ago. So what do you have for me today? What's something that could grow my business? So my rule of thumb is everyone needs accountability. Everyone gets busy. But if we're 90 days in to that conversation and Fred hasn't done one thing to really try to connect me to something that would help me grow my business, then Fred is not a good partner. Right. And
I like
now
that
it's
script,
time.
Debbie. Connect me with something to help me grow my business.
My business.
That's what your affiliate should be doing.
Right. And when I've coached, the affiliates, mortgage, escrow, title, everything, insurance connected on the other side of real estate, I've told these affiliates that when they're approaching one of you, don't show up and just say, gee, Beverly or Doug, I would love to have your business. Well, of course they would.
Of course.
And probably Beverly and Doug already have people that they are utilizing. Most top agents do. So when Beverly says, well, you know what, gee, David, I've already got someone I've been using for years. You say, top agent like you, I expected you would. You know what, Beverly, here's what I would like to do for you. I would like to earn the right to be your B team, to be your backup. I will come every week with an item or idea of value. I'm going to do my best to provide things that help you grow your business. I'm just going to ask one thing in return. If what I give you creates a deal, let me have that deal, right? And let me have a chance to prove to you. So see, they should be not just coming to you wanting your business, they should be coming and bringing tangible things that will help you, right? That will help you grow.
And I really believe that your affiliate should be in your corner 100% of the time. Mm-hmm. I have plenty of clients that use me exclusively for title. And then I have plenty of clients that go back and forth between me and another title rep. But the folks that I work with to establish these relationships know that it does not matter to me who's getting the title deal. I am in their corner 100% of the time.
Mhm.
And,
And oh, go ahead,
that's
David.
important. That matters. They care. And a lot of times, because you're doing that, you'll end up getting more business that way. But it's not even about that. It's just, I don't personally think it's right if Don were to call me and say, hey, I need help with this, and be like, that's not my deal. Goodbye.
Right.
Like, that's not a good partnership, right?
Right. Well, and to that point, there are situations, I know, when you guys are scrapping and fighting to get your buyer offers accepted, and therefore you may not always be able to control the services the way you would like to direct them to the preferred partners. And those preferred partners should understand, right, that as to David's point, that they're going to help you even though they didn't get the deal, because they know your intention is to give them that next deal. So David, the last thing maybe to wrap up with is I have found that agents tend to be reluctant in persuading or recommending vendors or affiliates, whether it be a home inspector or title or lender or whatever. And I think their reason is thinking, I shouldn't do that. That's not ethical. I don't want to steer them. And I will say that while we have to be mindful of all of the rules and laws and fair business practices, I really always believed that my buyers and sellers came to me for a reason, that I was their trusted, wise advisor, and that if I'm not at least offering, and I'm going to say it in this way, offering them the opportunity to connect with my preferred vendors, then I'm probably letting them down. And you certainly can make it clear and say you have a lot of choices. However, this particular vendor, by the way, it would be highly illegal for me to get any kickbacks. There is nothing that comes my way in terms of incentive other than this affiliate goes the extra mile, goes to the mat for my people. I trust him. I trust her. And all I would ask is you consider meeting with them, because I think you will find it will make the transaction so much less stressful. Are you open to that meeting? Okay, so I can deliver that up for David or whoever the affiliate is. It is then their job to be that great salesperson, to stand on their own, to dazzle those people, and to lock them in voluntarily that they want to work with them, because now your job is easier, their experience is better. So I get it. We have to approach this very ethically, but I definitely think you can recommend those quality people, arrange that meeting, and then that vendor affiliate has to be able to earn that right on their own.
Well, and I know people that even, when they go on a listing appointment, they even talk about the team that they have to ensure the transaction as part of the listing presentation. Mm-hmm. When, your team is all standing behind you. A lot of what Fidelity does, like we put out, we call them fast fact flyers. It's basically information. And every once in a while we'll have somebody, well, can't I brand it to myself? Well, our laws don't allow you to do that. But what I try to train my people on is I'm like, wouldn't it be good to have a Fortune 300 company standing behind you when you're trying to explain this? Isn't it good to know that there are 19,000 people at Fidelity supporting your team? Isn't it great to know that Prominent Escrow has all these, knowing about your vendors is important. Learning, that's not something we've touched on, Debbie, but learning some of that is important.
Well, it's an authority piece, right? And takes a lot of the anxiety away. So David, I won't keep you any longer. However, you make some fun and cool videos and you do some great things on social media. And I know that people are always looking for good ideas that they can borrow from. How do they find you? How do they find some of that so they can check it out?
Oh, well, thank you. So probably one of the best places to look is to subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/title insurance. Believe it or not, that's my channel. You can find me on Facebook under David Glanzrock. My email address, if you have questions or want to continue this further, it's titleisboring@fnf.com. And you can find me on Instagram. I'll put it in the chat for you, Debbie,
Please.
too.
Yeah, please go ahead and do that.
And are there, I mean, I can
Yeah, and
sit
if there's
here
any
another
questions
second
now,
if there's
guys,
any
feel
questions.
free to ask. But I'm going to make sure that you get a copy of this recording. And then also we're going to send you that script for talking to your affiliates about referrals. And this is a perfect time of year, remember, to take a few moments, whether it's in person, on Zoom, over coffee, whatever works for you, get reconnected to your affiliates, or if you're in a process of looking for new affiliate support, vendor support, then think of it as an interview. You know, this is a very important partnership in your business. So you're going to want to interview them, make sure their philosophies of how they communicate with clients, how they're going to be responsive to you. I often think too, their style of communication, if it's very different than yours, if it's harsh, if it's cold, your clients are going to bounce right back to you. They're not going to be happy. So I think this is a good time to say, okay, this is my team of support. I need to assemble them like a little army, and we need to get ready to march into the new year. So I think you'll find it's very fun to watch some of the stuff David does. He is a pretty funny guy. And I'm not a funny person. So one thing Pete Mitchell always says, as you guys are looking at his videos and his marketing, you find your true authentic self in the marketing. David likes to have fun with this. He has some fun, crazy ideas that might fit you, or there might be a takeaway because you're more serious like me. And yet you can say, wow, I never thought of doing that, but maybe my content will be a little different. So David, I hope they watch you and get connected if they have questions. And thank you all for joining us today. I may be talking to you again before the holiday season is completely upon us. It's fast approaching. If I miss you though, I hope you have a great end to this year, some time with your family to rest and be together. And then let's kick off the year with power, right? All right, David.
Thank you for having me. Forward.
Have a great
Let's
day.
do it.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, everybody.